So let's talk about solutions, okay? We're going to talk about the problem and the solution, okay? One, should be one transfer portal a year for both football and men's basketball.
Football should open up after
it should
after
be
January
for both.
19th, I believe.
Nope.
Same timeline for?
Nope. May 1 to May 15.
Okay.
Okay? The reason it should be May 1 to May 15, you should have your roster in place all the way through the season, which also keeps them in the academic world for the academic year, which means they have to keep themselves academically eligible, which means they have to be earning degrees, but taking steps toward getting because they're earning credits. So May 1 to May 15. All right? Open it up. Transfer portal. Fine. Okay? That's one. Okay? None of this, we're going to open up the men's basketball transfer portal on March 24th. Wait, the NCAA tournament's still going on.
Yeah.
The football one in December is just massively insane.
Yeah.
Okay?
Your portals should not be open in the middle of things happening.
Exactly. Right? That's one. Okay? May 1 to May 15, got one, that's it. Here's your chance. You don't like it here, or you may, in some cases, you've been told to go, but spring practice is now over. Okay? You now have a period of time because training camp for football doesn't start till August 1. Basketball camps don't start until June 12th in terms of summer workouts.
Yeah.
Okay? You've got time. Okay? May 1, May 15, one transfer portal, that's it, done. Semester's over, spring games are over, basketball seasons are over. Guys have entered the draft, they're going through pre-draft work, the whole thing, whatever. Okay? That's one. Two, okay, starting with the new scholarships, you should have 5 years to take care of life. No sixth year, no appeals, anything like that. You've got 5 years. Right? And by the way, if you play every game in the 5 years, you can play every game in the 5 years. None of this red shirting, mix matching, whatever. Right? You got 5 years. Okay? That's next. All right. Now let's get to, okay, they've got the clearinghouse. Okay, we'll see how that works out. That's just a lawsuit screaming to happen, but at least it's an interesting take. I'll take a wait and see attitude on that. Okay. The judge is correct that everything should be that all walk-ons should be grandfathered. Because what's going to happen is, let's just say you have 120 players. There's a good chance you've got 6 walk-ons that are seniors this year, which means that next year you'll be allowed to carry 114. And there's probably 6 seniors in that group, maybe 7. Now you're down to 107. Now I'm only 2 above. And then eventually I get to 105. Right? I mean, that should be done. The NCAA should be encouraging that. Walk-ons don't cost you much of anything. Training table, believe me, there's more than enough left on the buffet for everybody. Okay, you got a locker. They don't cost you anything on the plane. Charters are done by the mile. Okay? And everybody pairs up on the road. And because they pair up on the road, you needed the room anyway. And you could only travel in the Big 1074 to begin with. Yeah. Okay? And some of those would be walk-ons. They don't cost you, quote, anything. They don't cost programs anything along the way. That is a step that needs to be taken. And you've got to be able to get control of what's going on and accept what's going on. Accept what's going on. They won't accept it. The NCAA still wants power. They want power. The bottom line is they don't have power.
Nope. None.
They don't. Now, how the NIL situations are being handled and so forth, that's where the clearinghouse comes in. We'll see how that plays out. Okay. But you have to come up with solutions, and the solutions do not include the NCAA except for their ability to run championships, which they are very good at. Okay? Again, I'm not going to criticize a group unless I have the ability to praise the group, too. They're very good at running championships. But you've got to be able to sit there and come up with these ideas and these archaic rules. Right? You can only, let's see, bowl gifts can't exceed $590. Who came up with that random number? It's a random number.
It is.
Right? Look. Naturally, Penn State would have the ability to spend more on recruiting than Fordham would. You'd think.
Fair.
Right? They'd have the ability to do it. But you see stuff like this and you say, you people are all wrong. Rodney Rice just left legally. Legally went into the portal, legally got a new NIL deal because the NIL deals are exponentially higher between now and July 1 because
you got to spend it now.
Because it's the Wild West. There's no clearinghouse.
It's the same thing as when the NBA had its 2016 summer, I believe, when all the contracts got inflated and everyone for like Timofey Mozgov got $20 million. It's that. It's the one window where you can just spend.
Right. And here's the bottom line. You want to solve problems? Collectively bargain them. Enough's enough. You want to get control over the sport. Okay? And if the NCAA wants to have power in this, they need to be the one that suggests, you know what? If there's a union out there we can collectively bargain with that's going to represent all the players, we would like to talk with them.
Yes.
What's wrong with that?
Say we want there to be a union, and the search begins to find who those people are going to be. I know, like the NFL Players Association, I think president or co-president, like Dominique Foxworth, someone like that, where they played the game, they understand it. You know what would be great for this? Reggie Bush.
Well, isn't there? There's a group that is trying to be the organization for the players that has spoken out. Now, whether that
happens or not,
I can't remember what the name of the group happens to be.
Well, regardless, we're sitting at a May 1 to May 15 transfer portal for football and basketball.
Right.
Of course, other sports
and any sport. Any sport. Make it May 1 to 15 for every sport. It makes everybody complete classes and keep their eligibility going, which then keeps them on track toward a degree.
And we'll add in the caveat of your season extends beyond that. It starts after the season ends. So like baseball has the tournament goes through June. So then it starts.
Now, this 5-year thing is being floated around. I'm all for it. It's just, when does it start? Notice the basketball transfer portal right now. What have you noticed the last couple of days?
It's a lot.
Because the basketball transfer portal, by the way, closed at midnight last night, so it's closed. What did you notice the last couple of days?
What have I noticed, Steve?
Players whose eligibility are up put their name in the transfer portal. Ian Shefflin, Clemson. Juju Reese, Maryland, people like that.
Boogie
Why?
Fland, I believe, did. Arkansas.
Why? Because they're hoping either for a lawsuit, or they're hoping that if the 5-year thing is adopted, they can get an extra year. That's why they put their names in. Right? It's, the last couple of days, you're like, Juju Reese is done, isn't he? Ian Shefflin's done. So you have to sit there and do a little bit of research as to why their names are in. Like, okay. Because they have nothing to lose by being in it.
No.
Right? They may have something to gain, such as an extra year. Also in basketball, you need to be allowed to schedule 1 through 31, which means I'm talking about in the Big Ten, scheduling 1 through 11 in your non-con. Instead of having it be a 28-game season, oh, by the way, you get to go to an exempt tournament. Because you go to an exempt tournament, you get 3 extra games. Well, everybody plays an exempt tournament. Just change the rule to 31 games, for goodness sakes. And if you want to schedule all 11 of your games right in the non-con at home, that's your business, Syracuse basketball. And so,
don't rope us into this.
How many road non-conference games you guys play? And I'm not being a jerk here. I'm being serious. Usually the power schools play, except for the tournament. Okay, except for the tournament, they usually play all their games at home. So in other words, like it may be like 11. Let's see, Syracuse would. I guess they play 20 in the ACC.
I'm pulling up the most recent season.
But I'm talking. The most recent season is not going to help. Pull up like 18-19 season for Syracuse.
That was my freshman year at Syracuse. That was a fun team. Skipping past the exhibition games.
Right.
We've got...
How many games weren't in the Carrier? Because, look, if they're going to play in the Carrier Dome, they're going to get some coin.
Yeah.
They're going to get 20 to 30,000 people. They're going to make money. It's a smart move to make. Okay, so again, let me put it this way. I am not criticizing Syracuse.
Before ACC play, all games bar the ACC Big Ten Challenge. They played Ohio State and Columbus.
Yep, okay.
They played Connecticut, UConn, and Oregon, and MSG in some sort of thing. So 3 games weren't played in the then named Carrier Dome.
Okay. Right. So everything else was at home.
Everything else.
Right, but that's an economically smart move.
Yeah.
Okay, it's just no getting around it.
Mm-hmm.
I've got this place, I can sell it out. People want to go play you there anyway because you're going to get a guaranteed check to go there. So I'm just saying that's the smart way to do it. Well, if you have 11 non-cons, because the ACC plays 20 just like the Big Ten does, and because of that, that's 11 non-cons. You should be able to schedule 11 non-cons any way you darn well please.
Yeah.
I mean, just do that. I mean, stop getting in the way. I mean, that's my biggest problem with the NCAA. Just get out of the way.
It's like they put up these roadblocks in the middle of a 3-lane highway, like in the middle lane. They're like, keep driving, but like, just know there's some roadblocks somewhere. Have fun finding them.
Because they're trying to keep themselves relevant.
Yeah.
Okay, that's one of the biggest problems with people who have some power and they see their power eroding. Mm-hmm. This happens all the time. Organizations that see their power eroding, try to hang on to the last vestiges of power. And that's what the NCAA is doing here. Look, you've lost your power. Sit there. If you want to get yourself back into a power position, collectively bargain. And start with football and men's basketball. Okay? Then collectively bargain with women's basketball. Okay? But you're going to have to come up with something unless there's an all-encompassing athlete group that you can talk to that takes care of every sport possible. That way you can have unified rules across the board as the transfer portals, contracts. Look, you're going to need contracts. Collectively bargain and have contracts. It's a 2-year deal. Well, guess what the 2-year deal includes? You would play in the bowl game. The 2-year deal would include you have to play in the Crown or the NIT, right? Unless you declare for the draft. Okay? Okay? If you're not going to declare for the draft, you got to play in the bowl game. Can't opt out.
Yeah.
Okay? If you're not going to declare for the draft, okay, you can't sit there and tell me I'm not playing in the NIT or the Crown. Tough. Guess what? Now your contract is null and void. We're paying you money to play games. Okay? You can't do this unless you have a collective bargaining agreement. College sports is no longer amateur sports. Everybody has to understand that.
Someone asked me a couple days ago. They said, I was at a family function over the weekend, and they're talking about what's this NIL stuff, and I was like, it is now at the point where instead of being student athletes, a lot of these people are considered athlete students in my eyes. It's flipped. The role is flipped.